right, here we go. Say my soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. I said my soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. For my love do for you, it will always see you through. This my soul is a witness. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. You know this song is a testimony. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. You know my song is a testimony. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. For you, somebody needs to hear that God's love is always near. My song is a testimony. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
All right, everyone, say hello to your neighbor. Happy New Year, right? First Elevate of 2025.
All right, let's do this. You know my life is an example. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. You know my life is an example. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. For someone me to see that God's love is sent to me. Yes, my life is an example. Yes, it is. Okay, here we go. Yes, it is. 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 Yeah, yeah. Yes, it is. 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 Yeah, yeah. Yes, it is. 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 Yes, it is.
The Elevate Trio for the first time in 2025. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Dowse electric bass, Kelby MacNayr on vocals and drums, and the VTC Community Gospel Choir in the seats. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right. Thank you, Craig Charles and the Funk and Soul Show for that. All right. So welcome to Elevate for 2025. Who's excited? All right. All right, so we are here for the very first time, and I still feel like this is really loud or echoey or something. Anyway, we're here for the very first time in 2025, gathering as we do every single Wednesday to pretty much do one thing and one thing only. And that is to remember that how we are feeling, what we just experienced, what we shared, and the way we're connecting through the music, through community, through friendship, that all of this is part and parcel of this one incredible, amazing, dynamic thing that is always in and at play. And whether you call it love, whether you call it God, spirit, source, universe, the quantum field, creativity, whatever it is that you call it, it really doesn't matter as much as just embracing it, embodying it, and remembering that that is who and what you are. And not just a little of it, and not just sometimes, but all the time, every single moment of every single day. And the more we remember, the more we embody, the more we activate this incredible, amazing, divine, energetic flow that each and every one of us is, the more we activate it in each other, and the more collectively we up-level and expand in consciousness. So how does that sound on the very first Elevate of 2025? Yeah, okay. All right, and so let us remember where we are doing this remembering and this expanding and leaning in and thriving for 2025. That we are on the unceded lands of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations, and that if we take a look at some of the values that they hold dear, forgiveness, love, respect, honesty, and courage, if these aren't values that we could all embrace more fully, that we can embody a bit more intentionally and mindfully and purposefully every moment of every day, not just for ourselves, but for each other. Because as we do, what happens is then we further activate that incredible, amazing awesomeness that each and every one of us is, and we create life as that, rather than from the circumstances and the things and the memories and all the stuff that has gotten us to this now moment where we are right here, right now. So let's take a look at this. Let's receive this invitation and call to action for gratitude and reverence and appreciation of these incredible, amazing values, reminding us of how powerful and creative and resilient and interconnected we all are. So grateful to be able to live and breathe and work and play on these beautifully stewarded lands. Haishka. And so now we're moving into some reflective music. Back to the Elevate Trio, gentlemen.
Let me just reflect. What are we going to play?
So much joy. So much magic, so much wonder, so much love. So much playfulness in every single note, in every single phrase, in every single bar. And what a gift and a blessing it is to receive this exquisite gift that has just been offered so easily, so graciously. And so what I know right here, right now, in this incredible, amazing moment, that this is the only moment that matters. The magic and the wonder and the dreams and the love that are fully present right here, right now, that are alive and active in each and every individual present in this community as it grows and evolves together. I'm so grateful to know that all of these dreams and all of this wonder and all of this magic continues to expand moment by now moment into a greater expression of what it is and what is possible. And so eternally grateful for the opportunity to be here, to be expanded of mind, to open our hearts, to activate our souls together. I am so grateful for every single aspect of our time together tonight, knowing that there is that in each and every individual present, whether in person or online, whether right now or at a later time, that each and every individual receives whatever is theirs to be nourished by, is expanded and opened and activated in exactly the ways that they require. And I'm so grateful to know that every single person, every single being, every single collective moment that is shared within this community is another opportunity to heal, to grow, to expand into a greater version of who and what we already are. So for everything that is unfolding, for all the love and wonder and magic and joy and freedom that is present, knowing that there is always more, knowing that 2025 is the year to thrive, I simply release my word as law, knowing that right here, right now, there is only love. So I release, I let go, I trust, and I bask in this beautiful, brilliant, wondrous flow. And so it is. And if you would like to show your appreciation for the band. Thank you. Now, what was that? Because I kept thinking I'm hearing things I think I'm familiar with, but I don't know what the tune was. Was it Oscar Peterson? It was. But what was the tune?
Hymn to Freedom.
Oh, it was. There were like little snippets here and there. I'm like, that's Hymn to Freedom. And then it's like, oh no, it's going in a different direction now. Okay. All right. Nice. Thank you so much. That was one of my favorites so far. Thank you, guys. What is happening here? Oop, back. Okay, so new year means a new theme, and ta-da! I showed it at the end of last year, so for those who weren't here to thrive in 2025. This is probably the first time that I asked ChatGPT for some help, gave it specific instructions, and this is the first thing it spit out, and I'm like, yes! So this is it. Here's the theme for the year. And this is the decision we get to make. This is the choice that we get to make. This is what we get to decide for ourselves, individually and collectively this year. So is there anyone here that is not interested in thriving? No judgment. Who is interested in thriving this year? Yeah, okay. So this is an opportunity for us to get really serious about what that feels and looks like, what that means, the choices that we're going to be making, really leaning into them, because we know that we're the ones that create our reality, right? There's no one and no other entity that is doing anything, that is living our life for us. We are the ones who get to decide. And so if we want to thrive, what does thriving mean? What can it look like? What can it feel like? And what are the tiny little baby steps from moment to moment, hour to hour, day to day that we can consciously make to thrive? Okay, so that's what I'm throwing at you right here, right now. We have all year to lean into this because we also know that every single month, bam, there is a theme for the month. And this month, we're going big with consciousness. And the affirmation to go with is, love is all there is, and consciousness is everything. And so it is, good night. But seriously, consciousness is everything. There is nothing that is not consciousness. Everything is energy. Everything is love. Everything is God. Everything is creativity expressing every moment of every day. Consciousness is who and what we are. And some might say, well, there's like little c consciousness, which is awareness. But what is the awareness of? Big C consciousness, the thing that we are. And so this is what I'm inviting us all to lean into this month, is to really remember this is who and what we are. Because the more we remember that, the more we give ourselves the opportunity to thrive, right? So that's a little intro to our theme. Next week, someone is going to have a chance to talk about this, but because there's so much going on today, just wanted to introduce it. So marinate on it, open up to it, and then next week, let's share what's coming up for you regarding consciousness. All right, time for a feature tune, fellas. I wonder what it'll be, if it's what Kelby and I talked about, or if he's switched it up in the last 4 hours.
Oh yeah, we switched it up. So I had this one idea, and then when I was speaking with Lesia about the theme for the month and what the plan was, what kind of concepts we got to begin in January, for some reason this song came up. And I think it was out of appreciation of what happens here and the appreciation that we as a band, we didn't get to be here last January. We might not have even been talking yet, or we were talking, but we weren't here. And so we missed out on that. And so I was just thinking about appreciating all that we've got to experience here. And so the song that came to mind was, how long has this been going on? Or at least the first phrase, which is, I could cry salty tears. Where have I been all these years? So, dedicated to us here. Its relevance becomes very thin after that first 4 bars, but I think you can find some spots. I could cry salty tears. Where have I been? Oh, I think I'm not in anywhere like the right key. So I'm going to let Pablo just kind of move around for a second. There we go. Now I understand what's going on. Maybe we'll even do it in time, because that's a little safer. Top. I could cry salty tears. Where have I been all these years? Little while, that's you. Tell me now, how long has this been going on? There were chills up my spine and some thrills I can't define. Listen, sweet, I repeat, how long has this been going on? finding another world. Kiss me once, then once more. What a dunce I was before. Listen, sweet, I repeat, how long has this been going on? Oh, I feel that I could melt into heaven. I'm hurled. Now I know how explorers feel, finding another world. Kiss me once, then once more. Let's make thrice, let's make it four. Little while, tell me now, how long has this been going on?
Woo! Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. The Elevate Trio. All right, come on and sit down, gentlemen. Take a break. And let's move into... oh, I don't have a slide there. Okay. All right, well, there we go. Gave it away. Okay, so traditionally in January, some New Thought centers, specifically the Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, go back to basics. And they focus on the introduction to this big tome called The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, the founder of what's known as religious science, or really the Science of Mind philosophy, which is the philosophy that was the foundational philosophy that I studied throughout my 7 years of consciousness studies. And what they do is they go to the introduction, which is only about 70 pages long, and go through the first 4 parts of that introduction to remember what it is that we're talking about, what it is that we are learning, exploring, what are we digging into, and what it is that we're reminding ourselves of every single time that we come together. And so what I wanted to talk about today, because we're going back to basics, is the first few words of the Bible, which is something I don't talk a lot about, but the first few words of the Bible are, in the beginning. And so the whole thing that we want to focus on today and this entire month is that in the beginning, there was just consciousness. just this thing, formless, no substance, this potentiality. And this thing, it still exists today. It's not like there was a delineating moment where like it wasn't and then it was, because for us to wrap our minds about infinite, eternal, boundless, limitless, with no beginning, no end, that can be a little bit mind-bending. But if we just kind of let go of that, and if we remember that we are that thing, then let us just open up to this is the only thing that is going on. So the thing that we need to do, whenever it is that we're getting caught up in life, getting caught up in the negative thinking and the negative choices and the habits and the people that are driving us crazy and the things that we shoulda, coulda, woulda done, we go back to the beginning. We go back to remembering that we are not our thoughts, we are not our beliefs, we are not our experiences, we are not our choices. Those are things that we do, things that maybe we make, but the thing that is doing the making behind it, behind that, the back of it, underneath, at the very center, the very epicenter of it all, the inception of it all, is pure consciousness. And so I have a quote for you from this little book. I don't talk about her a lot on Wednesdays, but Emma Smiley, her final book, The Magnificent Assumption, which was put out in 1982, I think. And it's a great little book, and she has an entire chapter on consciousness. So when this theme came up for me, like, I know what I'm going to be digging into this month when it comes to Emma Smiley. And for those who don't remember, Emma Smiley was the founder of the Victoria Truth Center back in the 1930s and was the spiritual leader for over 40 years. So she has a quote in there that says, consciousness is much more than that of which we are now aware. Consciousness is limitless. And so let's go back to our theme for the month. Love is all there is. Consciousness is everything. So if we just pause and take a moment to really open up to this as a truth, not just a fact or an idea or a concept, but take this as true, that there's nothing else, that consciousness is everything, then that means that Sherry is consciousness, that Stephanie is consciousness, Gloria, Britt, Liz, Denise, everyone in this room, everyone tuning in online, this podium is consciousness, because everything is everything, right? And if that's all there is, there's nothing that's not that. And so when we consider what it is, when we go back to the science of mind and talk about the thing itself, which is kind of as generic as Ernest Holmes gets, because he uses a lot of words for this thing or consciousness. He uses God, he uses love, he uses spirit, source, he uses infinite intelligence and universal mind, and the list goes on and on and on, just so that you don't get stuck on one thing and this is what it is. Because those are just words, those are just labels, so that we can make sense of it or try to make sense of it and to relate to it somehow, right? But that's not as important as it is to really feel it in our bodies, to drop down from our minds, our heads, down into our heart, and to embody this incredible, amazing, dynamic, energetic flow, this vitality, this creativity, this infinite, boundless, limitless potentiality that we are in every single cell, system, and organ of our being. It's there so that we can open up every single molecule and atom and interspace of our being and invite more experience of this thing that we are. And so when we talk about it in Science of Mind, we talk about it in terms of there's only one, but there are different aspects to it. And I'll talk a little bit more about these aspects throughout the month. But basically, it is the inception, it is the beginning, it is the cause, it is the starter of everything. And sometimes we talk about it as mind, and we talk about it as conscious mind and subjective mind. Not two minds, it's just two aspects or two elements of the one thing. But what's important to realize is that conscious mind is our thinking mind. That's the self-knowing mind. That's the mind that we're aware of. Then there's subjective mind, which is the one that we're not aware of, but this is the one that reflects the thoughts that get put into it, And then what shows up is the third aspect of it, which is form. And so we want to get really clear on what it is that we are choosing to experience by really getting clear on what is going on in our subjective mind. This is where all memories, all thoughts, all beliefs of all time exist. And whether we are aware of it or not, every single thing we think is filtering through all of those thoughts, all of those potential memories, all of those potential realities, and then showing up in form. And if what we're experiencing in form, which is our life, which is who we are, if it's not what we want or what we would prefer, then guess what? We're always at choice and we can change it. But if we're wondering, well, I keep thinking these thoughts that I want to, experience in life, but they show up differently. Well, this is where you got to dig into the subjective mind, and we'll talk a bit about that later. So anyway, so there's these three aspects: conscious mind, subjective mind, form. And then there's also the universal, which is consciousness experiencing itself as the planets and the universes and the galaxies and all of the stuff in the world. And then there's the individual consciousness experience, which is our life experience and the choices that we make and the life that we create for ourselves based on those choices, based on the beliefs and the thoughts that we have, that we are holding dear, that we may or may not be aware of in our subjective mind. So the whole point is this consciousness thing, it is creativity and action all the time. And the thing that is inspiring it to unleash itself is us. And so if we want to have a better life, we got to start making better choices. We got to start thinking better thoughts. We got to start living life more lovingly within and without. And so there's another quote from Emma's book. We expand our consciousness in only one way, by becoming more aware of God. Now, if God doesn't work for you as a word, that's okay. Because really, it's just consciousness becoming more aware of itself. So it's us remembering who we really are. And so if you want to throw in love, if you want to throw in spirit, creativity, the quantum field, whatever it is that works for you, go for it. Because it's just consciousness remembering that it's consciousness. Remember a few months ago when I was talking about that amazing Alan Watts video that just blew my mind, where he was talking about how life is kind of about God playing a game of hide and seek with itself? We're like, oh, I'm so powerful, I can experience all the amazing stuff in the world that I want. Ooh, if I'm all powerful, then maybe I can experience a whole bunch of negative stuff and see what happens. Ooh, I'm so powerful that I got to do that and that and that, getting to the point of, I wonder if I'm so powerful that I could make myself forget that I'm so powerful. And that's where we are. Right here, right now. Our job is to remember that we are not just the things that we experience, we are not the circumstances, we are not the life that is whirling and swirling around us that we are actually creating for ourselves. We are the thing behind that, underneath it, within that. We are that power that is boundless, limitless, eternal, forever expanding and expressing itself in, through, and as everyone and everything. Emma Smiley also writes, we see that we have only one thing to do. We must expand our consciousness. We may erase our self-made line of demarcation, which is our belief that we are living with conditions and circumstances that are greater than we are. Love is all there is. Consciousness is everything. And the sooner we remember that consistently, and not just for ourselves, but everyone in our life, the people that are driving us crazy, the people that make us angry, it's not them that are making us angry. They're simply there reflecting what it is in us that requires attention. They're consciousness just as much as we are. And so it's not their fault. We get to look inside and see what it is in me that requires attention. Where can I grow? Where can I remember more fully that love is all there is and consciousness is everything? So that means I am love. I am consciousness. And so is everyone and everything around me. So to end, I want to finish off with that quote by Ernest Holmes that we had in our meditation, because it's one of my favorite quotes. And I know I've used it before, probably at the beginning of last year. But to me, it just speaks of how wondrous and magical and boundless and limitless the possibilities of who we can become are. The inherent nature of man is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. Freedom. We do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, of a freedom which the soul craves. Thank you, and so it is. All right, so conscious conversation time. All right, everyone, come on back. All right, well, we're going to keep going. So I know at some point you guys are going to come back and we're going to start loving some people up here. So whomever had something to do with today happening, could you please arise? Thank you, Peter. All right, so all of the musicians, Glenn, Jamie, thank you very much. I know there's some people who are going to be tidying up afterwards, and there's a tambourine player in the house. All right, so let's let these folks know how much we love and appreciate them. We appreciate you. We love you. We're expanding in consciousness with you. Amazing. All right, and now there are no new people here today, so how about everybody just stand on up so that we can all get loved up? All right, here we go. We appreciate you. We love you. We're expanding in consciousness with you. And now find one person and turn those we's into I's. So find your person, and you're going to tell them how much you love and appreciate them. Everybody got their person? I appreciate you. I love you. I'm expanding in consciousness with you. All right, feel free to hug it out if you like. Amazing, thank you. And then go ahead and sit down. All right, so I want to ask, who is feeling inspired? Who is feeling uplifted? Who is feeling expanded? Yeah? Okay, who's feeling better right now than they did when they walked in? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so right now is an opportunity to lean into that expansion, into that expanding spirit, that consciousness that you are, and to know that that consciousness, that spirit, that love, that whatever it is that you're feeling is limitless. And so that means that as much as you're experiencing, as much as you're receiving, there is always so much more to give. So now is an opportunity for you to be generous of that spirit. And so however it is that you want to contribute, there are different ways to do it. They're all listed right there. There's a silver bowl on the back. There's some beautiful, new, updated, revised tithing envelopes that are straight. And there's a button on the website. There's a merchant services machine that you can use for credit card. However it is that you choose to give tonight and be generous with your spirit, I invite you to place your hands on your heart and let's declare this abundance affirmation with enthusiasm. Here we go. In gratitude I give, in gratitude I receive. By embracing generosity with enthusiasm and delight, I celebrate the infinite possibilities of living life lovingly, and so it is. And so I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze one more time and just allow yourself to breathe in and feel the abundance, the gratitude that is appreciating, the connection, the friendship, the community that is building, the minds that are expanding, the hearts that are opening, and the souls that are being further activated by the choice to be here now, to remember who and what we are, and to open up to the infinite possibilities of who we can become. So for all of the love, for all of the abundance, for all of the generosity that is present, knowing that there is always, always so much more, I simply say thank you for it all, And so it is. All right, some announcements because it is the beginning of the month. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. Oh, I didn't set it up. Honey Bunch, do you have the clipboard? So this Saturday, Glenn, our very own Glenn Sheridan, sound man, tech man, cameraman, aka Honey Bunch, aka Mahoney, is facilitating the 4 Agreements book study group. And you just want to give that. So I invite you, the clipboard's going around. If you haven't signed up already and you're interested, it's happening 5 Saturdays in a row, starting this Saturday here at VTC, 3 to 4:30. Mahoney, hold on. Come in. Yeah, I do. Yeah, people can just pass around and sign. Okay. So, so just very, very briefly, let people know why this book is such a vital and essential book for you. I'm going to move because I don't want to.
Okay, it all started when I was a little boy. Fast forward 59 years, and someone called Sherry, looks a lot like that lady over there, planted a seed one day when Lesia was not here talking, and she gave a talk, and I'd completely forgotten that she'd talked about a part of this book. I can't remember which agreement you talked about, but it was something. Oh, is that what you're saying, or is that the one you were? Yes. Okay. So yeah, it's like 129 pages. It's so brief and brilliant, and if you haven't read it, you should, because you will. Once you've read it, you'll read it again and again. And there's just a richness there that is like, until you've talked about it with other people, I think you haven't really gotten to the crux of it. So that's what I want. I want this engaging, energetic circle of people right here starting Saturday. So please sign up if you're interested. From 3 to 4:30, before it gets dark, you can go home. I know for some people that's important this time of year. So please come, and I guarantee you that at least you'll have the fun of looking at me and thinking, what is he saying? What does he mean? And then you'll be forced to figure it out yourself. Okay, that's the message. Thank you.
Okay, and do they have to have read the book before they come?
You do not have to have read it. I'm going to send an email link to anyone who signed up to a YouTube audiobook. It's like 2.5 hours, 2.25 hours just listening to it. But if you want to go to Russell's and get a copy if you don't have one, we're just going to read the introduction and a little bit of the first agreement we'll talk about on the first Saturday. There's the book.
Okay, thank you, Honey Bunch. Okay, coming up this Sunday, it's Friendship Sunday. And Friendship Sunday is the day when new members get welcomed into the fold. And so if you haven't been on a Sunday, this is such a fun Sunday to come because we have a band like we do on Wednesdays, but it's a different band, but part of it's the same because it's Kelby. But it's a different vibe because it's Sunday morning and it's bright and it's sunshiny and it's cheery. There's a potluck lunch afterward. And if there are members and there is at least one new member who's being welcomed tomorrow, then that is part of our celebration. So not tomorrow, on Sunday. So Friendship Sunday, always the second Sunday of the month, and it's coming up this Sunday. This is our roster of January events, which is actually not that much, but there is more coming up. But the things to really, really tune into is, already mentioned, the book study starting this Saturday, 3 to 4:30, Friendship Sunday this Sunday, and then 90 Transformational Breathwork next Saturday, which is actually filling up as it tends to do right now. So if you're interested in coming, there's information on the wall there. There's information on the door. You can also ask me. If you have been coming for a while and you feel like this is a pretty groovy place to hang out, to connect, to belong, to feel like you are being expanded and opened up and activated into a better version and expression of you and who you can become, then we invite you to join us and become a member. It doesn't cost you anything, and what it allows you is a very, very precious vote at our annual general meeting. And this year, our annual general meeting is coming up on March 9th. And this is an amazing, amazing and integral way to not only be of service, but to have a say in how this community is building and growing and evolving. So if you're interested, there are forms on the back table. I have an empty one right here, and we would love for you to be with us. So ask us about it. What can we know for you? If you or someone you know is in need of prayer, then anytime you can email prayers@victoriatruthcenter.org or fill out a form and put it in the little butterfly box in front of the silver bowl, and our VTC prayer team will pray for you and yours affirmatively every day. Prayer is an incredibly powerful movement of energy for a specific purpose. If you haven't come to our healing circle on third Sundays here, come and check it out in person, because it's pretty amazing, and stuff happens in just the 45 minutes that we're together. If you're not already on the newsletter, please sign up. Best way to know what is happening and when. And otherwise, is there anything anyone is presenting or showcasing that they would like to share with our community? Concerts, anything? All right, okay, so, all right. Stand on up. Gentlemen, come on back, and we're going to sing our final tune, When You Believe by Eddie Watkins Jr.
All right. So we got this great new tune, and it was a lot of fun for me because I didn't know either of these artists before Lesia suggested them, and then when I sent the text to P-Dog, he was like, oh, man, Eddie Watkins Jr., he's one of my favorite bass players. He played with Herbie, and just went on for a while. Oh, great. And Billy Preston, too. But so Peter's going to start this one. Anything is possible when you believe. Oh, I'm sorry. I get new tune, new key. I'm not in the right key at all. I'm just gonna groove and look. Okay, there we go. Anything is possible when you believe. Anything is possible when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move, oh, when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move, oh, when you believe. Don't you know you change your life, oh, when you believe. Don't you know you change your life when you believe. In yourself, in yourself, in yourself, in yourself. Musical interlude. Go, Pablo. All right. When you believe, oh, gonna make a miracle when you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe. In yourself, in yourself, in yourself, in yourself. I believe in me, I believe in you. When we believe in each other, there ain't nothing we can't do. I believe in me, I believe
Thank you. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Dowse on electric bass, Kelby MacNayr on vocals and drums, VTC Community Gospel Groovy Funky Choir in the seats. Thank you for being here today in person, online. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here. We will see you next week.